Hello everybody, we're back. Welcome to Crowdfunding Countdown. We're going to take a look at every single board game campaign finishing up in the next week. And I am excited. I'm excited to check all this out. But before we do, I want to give a huge shout out to my newest patron, Forrest. Forrest, thank you so much for jumping on board and supporting the channel. I'm overwhelmed. I'm always overwhelmed when people are able to support the channel. Super appreciative. Again, it helps me spend as much time as I do cramming these in between every other little thing. And so let's get into it. One of the things that a patron wanted me to check out and mention, this is the Tabletop Inn, a board game bed and breakfast. They run a board game bed and breakfast in North Carolina, and they're raising funds for merch, signage, photos of our small business. Yeah, they raised a bunch of money. You can book it now at this Tabletop Inn. If you're in North Carolina and you wanted a place to stay with a bunch of board games, over 600 games in the library, a nice big game table, you can go stay in North Carolina. Way to go, Tabletop Inn. You have somebody out there who really likes your stuff and perhaps has been and wanted to shout you out to support you. So, of course, I'm going to shout out things to support. I love shouting out businesses that my patrons may have visited and love. That's what I love most about this channel, is sort of amplifying those voices. That's the idea. That's what I want to do. Yeah, so that's Tabletop Inn. All right. I don't think this is really anything. Now we're into the week. I don't know if there's anything good this week whatsoever. Is there anything I'm excited to check out? Maybe one thing, because they ditched the $1 pre-pledge, so I can cover it this time around. Heard it was potentially good, maybe. But until then, we're going to get to Direct Award, the game. I don't think it's going to be a good week, but we'll see. As I sift through the trash to get you the treasure, a winner takes all card game for public procurement nerds. As a market worth over 13 trillion worldwide, public procurement is too important a subject to be left to PowerPoints or large tomes collecting dust on a shelf. You didn't hit the $13 trillion market, but maybe you hit somebody. 20 contract cards, 50 justification cards. Everybody has 3 justification cards. Different strengths, modifiers, and special effects. So it's worth 9 points, and then it's worth 10 if you use it on a works card. Oh, no, I can't possibly be tired. Now we're just starting. You're just bidding on things. It's like a worse for sale. No shipping information for £35. It's funded. All right, let's go on. Let's go on to this. Regulus High Fantasy Arena Sports. Get our head in the game. Humans, orcs, vampires, and dwarves in the world of Regulus have gathered for an epic clash of arena combat to prove the prowess of their champions. Victory will only be scored if you master your position and the timing of attacks. Will you master the arena and overcome your rivals? Asymmetric teams, highly tactical, no luck. Character customization. Oh, this is a full 1-round video. No. I just want the trailer for now. Cool. Yeah, it does seem fun. Depends upon how much, though. We got a miniatures edition for friggin' €113, so absolutely not that fun. I want this in the same vein as an Unmatched. That's what I want. And I don't know if that's what we're going to get. Because it's a quick skirmish game. You're going to have your different group or troop or goof troop. Download the rulebook, yes. Thank you for having that right at the top of the gameplay. That's nice. Basically, pick a team. The team that reaches 10 points first wins the game. Score points with knockouts, controlling the Regulus zone, the King of the Hill style, or score the crowd's favorite objective cards that reward the player with the most style. Cool. In initiative system, you get a deck of 9 initiative cards to determine when the character starts their turn. Okay, so I guess you get the odds and the evens, is what that looks like. Each initiative bid starts by choosing an initiative card for all 3 of your characters. I do like that. You know that there's a range. You're going to have 3 rounds. You're only going to get to use the same amount of cards in each round. So you will know once people play some cards in the first round, you'll have a lot more understanding about what's going to go on. Fell asleep in my chair, but we're back. Defensive playstyle. Yeah, just a bunch of asymmetrics. You get 10 different arenas. Each arena comes with its own arena rules. Cool. I like that. Oh, and create your own arena with custom walls. Love that. I think that's great. Equipment cards. So a little bit more asymmetry depending upon who has what. Once per game special action. And you can mix and match. That's fun. 69. 69 for a standee edition. 89 for a miniatures edition. Oh, and then 129 for 6 character minis. I'm interested why it says 6 character minis when shouldn't it be... Oh, you only get 6 character minis because it's a 3 versus 3, so you don't even get minis for each class? That seems weird. Knights Radiance and Sticks and Bones. So you can get a standee expansion for €30. So if you wanted this full thing, it'd be €99. It's tough. I mean, I like the flow of it. Let's look a little bit more about the fights and what you do on a turn. Oh, okay, after you completed 3 combat rounds, you swap initiative cards. Cool. Yeah, I think the system seems really slick here. And then there's just different keywords as you go through, but also feels very easy. Pushing, pulling, line of sight, knocking out, they're put back into their starting zone. Gains points according to the game mode you're playing. Okay, pitches 19 to 20. Knockouts 1 point per character. Deathmatch 2 point per character. So you can just play it in a different way. Tactics, team fight. Quite nice, I think. It's so expensive. Like the standee edition for me is $96. Games are getting expensive nowadays. That's true. And then shipping estimates probably puts us at $120 for me. Canada $33, even more, so $130, $140. If I wanted to just get the standee edition without any pledges, like $140. Again, it's one of those things that looks good, would be happy to play it. I don't see why I wouldn't get unmatched over this. The fact that you can get a bunch of different unmatched sets, that would scratch this itch for me pretty significantly. And I think if this were found a way to be a lot cheaper, this could be a huge hit. But the fact that it is so expensive, I can think that's why it's just crossed over its funding goal. But it is funded, so there you go. Check it out. The finishes on the 16th at 9 a.m. We're going to move on to this one, Machina Arena Vivarium by Adrema Games, a cooperative tactical horror adventure for 1 to 4 players where survival is never guaranteed. Explore the dreadful halls, face unspeakable horrors, and unravel chilling stories, only to discover that true terror lies beyond your darkest expectations. This is also my little tip. I mean, some people watch this in the morning, but if you're watching this, drink some water. I was like, I think I need a sugar rush. I think I'm tired. And I got some candy out. I'm like, I don't want this. I just want to be drinking water. So it's my reminder to you to drink some water. It's always good. Well, it's an expansion for Machina Arcana. Okay, I think I've covered Machina Arcana before. All right, I just checked. I haven't covered this yet, so I have to figure out what it is. Another sort of choose-your-own-adventure style exploration game. Face the horrors, survive the storers. Or story, one of them. Lots of buzzwords. Isn't about just rolling dice and hoping for the best. Every action matters. Exploration is an intense, high-stakes puzzle where players must adapt, use their resources wisely, and cooperate to survive. Modular maps, a bunch of minis. Cool. I mean, this seems like a nice expansion for the game. If you already own the game, they're going to have things that you can use to freshen up your maps so that they're not the same maps. And there's also different environments for each little map tile. So it's hot, it's cold, it's yes, it's no. The comic book inspired storytelling system replaces the traditional chapter structure, making the story more immersive, easier to follow, filled with branching choices to shape your journey. So you have this other board as well, and you'll be placing tokens depending upon if something has happened. And then it says, hey, check this track. Is there a token? Have you placed token 4? No. Just a big board with some nice art to keep track of things. And a bunch of new scenarios as well as what they're offering. New updated game rules. Great. I'd love to see it. You better have it here. Rules update. Yeah. Oh, this is just the updates. Okay, so not too much has changed, it feels, from a basic thing. And there's different items that can be combined with a little gear connection system. I think that's kind of neat, right? You can stick them together if they're like that. I like the traps that are going to be on the board. I think that's one of the draws that I'm seeing is if you can really have interactive set pieces, that's fun. Like, that's what I enjoyed about Townsfolk Tussle is like, yeah, I want to honk the car. I want to push the car into the monster instead of actually attacking them myself. I want traps to do my dirty work for me so that I feel clever. They're really pushing this developing story. Oh, that's nice. The way that you can just flip through the cards, that it's all set up as one thing. That's nice. Just the same as a book, but you have a way to keep trackers going. There'll be a bunch of different random events that you're going to have to worry about flipping up and dealing. You'll go through Explorer phase, Spawn phase, Horror phase, and Monster phase. So Explorer phase, just where you get to take your actions. Spawn phase, spawn some monsters. Horror phase, you roll to see if a horror event is invoked. And then the monster phase, the monsters get to activate as well. So fairly standard flow of play. Yeah, it said, please read this guide first. It's just kind of detailing a little mini setup. But for me, I want to know the options that I actually have, not the options that these machines are taking. It's like learning a course in school. You can actually learn it, or you can just memorize bits of information. But then you're not going to know how to apply yourself when you get into a scenario yourself. Yeah, no, I don't want to be reading this guidebook first. No, thank you. I want to read the friggin' rules. You get 3 scenarios in this base game. Yeah. And then every expansion is going to add more scenarios. Yeah, okay. Basically what I do because there's so many different cooperative dungeon crawls, right? So what I do when I'm looking at cooperative dungeon crawls is I'll look primarily at what the actions you get to do are on your turn. Then we'll break down those actions. We'll see if they're complicated at all. Normally they're move, attack, search, scavenge, restore health, right? All different variations along similar themes. And then I'll go towards the actions that feel like you're going to be using the most. So movement and attacking is usually the things that you're going to be using the most. So you'll see I often jump to what is the combat like? What is the exploration, right? And that's pretty much all, because you know what resting feels like in a game, right? You look at what the monsters are. How do they activate? How fiddly do they seem to be? Those are the sorts of questions that I try to look for as we go through things. This is a nice scaling thing. There's going to be a monster level as you level up. And so once you destroy a monster, if that monster is too weak, it will be removed entirely from the game. If it's too strong or equal to the monster level, then it'll go on the destroyed monsters deck, which you presumably will shuffle whenever you need to draw more monsters and you can't. There is player elimination here. Like, my gut is saying this doesn't seem that interesting, but the art doesn't really pulls me in sort of a dated way. That's not its fault, but that's just the Arkham horror of it all. Lots of keywords in terrain, trap levers, chests, event spaces. There's a scrolling element that reminiscent of, I guess, Anastyr, in that you have a 2x2 grid, and you can continue to explore, and that will destroy other map tiles that you have already visited. So you have the ultimate box, $120, 120 euros, 200 Canadian. If you're just getting the expansion, it's $50 for an expansion. The core box is $100 Canadian. Big miniature bundle is more than the ultimate box. Then shipping just for the expansion is like 14 euro, and then for the normal game it's 26 euro in the States, 18 and 30 for Canada, 12 to 15 for EU countries. This is a tough one. I don't see it for me. I think the art is really putting me off in a way that I'm not seeing the flow. Okay, so here's what do I like about this? I like the possibility of a lot of monsters roaming around. I like the size of the board. I like that you have that rolling map as you go through. I like the idea of all those different traps. I think the iconography in terms of attacking seems a little bit convoluted. I do like the attack system. You got your black dice and your white dice. Black dice are going to hit a little bit better. Always like those sort of customizable dice. And I do like that chapter flipping through system. So there is a lot to like here. For me, it's just kind of missing that wow factor. I don't know what it is that is stopping that. Maybe because the scenarios don't feel at the forefront, and I'm not getting as much of the theme. Maybe I'm not getting the emphasis on these different monsters that are running around that you can run away from. I think the flow is going to be very much running away and exploring new things. The fact that there are so many different chapters feels like it's going to be a little bit longer of a game than I wanted it to be. But I guess Etherfields kind of did that in a sense, where there were just these little story beats. And if you think of the chapters as story beats versus actual chapters, that might be a little bit more interesting on your end. I don't know. I'm not convinced. It finishes on the 16th at 4 p.m. It's raised a lot of money. I think if you're spending $100 on the core box of this or on Regulus, I think you should spend it on Regulus. But what do I know? I'm just an idiot. We're moving on to Mesopotamia by Meeple Pug. Carve your legacy in stone by leading humanity during its birth in Mesopotamia. Choose your civilization and explore an ever-changing map. Expand your empire, exploit its resources, and exterminate your rivals. The cradle of civilization awaits you. I don't know what I would have done without this night off. Really. That's probably bad thing. I'm glad I had this night off. Sorry, Rachel's sick, but good for all of us here at Room and Board. Okay, each empire gets its own starting tech. I like that. That's fun. Yeah, and really nice how to play video. I got a lot from that, and I think it looks really neat. Strong points and mechanics. This is one of the things you're going to be going up this event track. You're going to get these random events, and then you have to do that for X amount of turns. I think that's really interesting in terms of, I have to now guard this place for 6 turns. Then it becomes a hot spot of people trying to attack you and trying to influence that, and creates interest around the play. I like the action system. You're going to roll the dice. The dice will have actions on them, and that will determine which actions you can take. But you can always take one additional action of your choice. There are these 6 actions that you are going to be choosing from, and you can upgrade them as you go along as well. So essentially you're going to be running around, exploring things, picking up events, and then also building and establishing dominance in certain areas, which will give you ways to get points as well. I always love when I can upgrade my actions. That's one of my favorite things in games. Makes you feel so strong, like a big strong man. That's what it makes me feel like a big strong man. The population track is basically like the horns track in Blood Rage. It looks like how many people you can have on the board. But yeah, otherwise very 4X tendencies. You're going to be grabbing stuff from the map, but I like how this is flowing. There's also this interesting bidding aspect of the warfare, which of course I really like because it reminds me of Rising Sun. You have knuckle bones that you're using, and you're bidding on 3 different types of advantages. One is strength, which just bolsters your troop's strength. One is mobility, which lets you change the formation, which I think is really cool. That's my favorite part of the combat. This is what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, this is interesting. This brings combat into play. 119 euro though for this big old game, or you can add in the additional 4 factions: the Hivites, the Mari, the Iblate. Oh no, the Hittites and the Assyrians. So it is very expensive. 119 euro. It's like 200 bucks. That immediately kills any interest that I have in it. Maybe not. I think this one does look good as well, though. I think mechanically this does look pretty good, but I probably just wouldn't get it to the table enough for it to be worth it. The components seem like they're going to be good quality. Of course, you never know when you are kickstarting something or crowdfunding something. Meeple Pug, what have you done beforehand? Oh, Dark Blood. Interesting. Did I cover this? Or was Dark Blood a pre-pledge? I feel like Dark Blood was a pre-pledge. No, 142. I did cover it. Episode 142. Yeah, it was in the thumbnail and everything. Of course I covered it. Also, smart stretch pay tactic. See 9.9 and you're like, oh, maybe it's 9.9 out of 10. But yeah, this one does look solid. I think the flow of it is going to be pretty good. I think it'll depend on how fun it is when you're upgrading your actions. Yeah, what's shipping at this point? I assume it's 30 bucks, maybe more, 35. Oh, 19 euro and then 30 euro. Yeah, which converted. There you go, 45. So for me to get this, again, around $200 for this game, that is a going rate for 4Xs, I feel, in Canadian. Again, not something that I'm seriously going to consider because of the amount of time that I would get it to the table. However, if you do like the 4X and you do like this as a genre and you're excited about it, I think it does look pretty solid mechanically. So if you're interested, the finishes on the 16th at 5 p.m. Moving along, we have Paperback Adventures Volume 2. Play a roguelike deck-building word game where you battle as Pulp Fiction characters. This expansion adds the martial arts character Iron Knee, not Iron Fist, but Iron Knee, and the ability to play 4-player co-op with the Binding Nexus. I haven't played this Paperback Adventures. I think Ruel really likes it. It is a Fowers game. I love Fowers games since I played Run. Run is exceptional. Run is so good. And people really like Burgle Bros as well. I have nothing but great things to say about Fowers games. They're just a very small business, just a family-run company. If you're looking to support a family-run company, this is a great one to support. Or if you're looking to like feel good about your purchases, you know, you're not buying a game to support people. Let's be real. You're buying a game because you think it's going to be a good game, right? That's the number one. But if you're like, I think this is a good game and I want to know about the publishing company, solid people. Just building where I know I would love this. I really need to end up playing this game because I know I would enjoy it. Tuck boxes for characters, a bunch of trays. Yeah. Big box, Binding Nexus, and Iron Knee, 150 bucks Canadian, 110. You can get the full collection for $200, yeah. As you punch and kick your way through the story. Yeah, because this is the reason why I never got into it. Because Paperback Adventures is mostly a solo game, and I'm not 100% a solo gamer. But we also know that some people want to enjoy the game's word building. I mean, I probably would like it. While the original game does have some simple rules for some cooperative play with 2 players, we wanted to take the time to design a multiplayer experience that made the game new and fun in different ways, without sacrificing the core of what makes Paperback Adventures, well, Paperback Adventures. To make this possible, included are 3 enemy trays and tokens. You can play cooperatively and simultaneously with 4 players. Filled to the brim with new enemies, MacGuffins, and items that are tailor-made for multiplayer play. Traverse and take down a giant mothership. Battle a head-spawning Hydra. Defeat a dangerous basketball team? Basically, you're just drawing a bunch more enemies than you would be. I didn't realize that you were fighting things through words. I don't think I ever really knew how to play Paperback Adventures, and they're not going to tell me. Oh, well, they're telling me a little bit more about Paperback Adventures. One of the main features is the word puzzle provides, but the puzzle is about finding the right word, not the longest or most obscure word. That's in large part due to the splay system, yeah. Wherever you choose your word from this turn, you also have to choose to splay your cards to the left or right. That will greatly change the outcome of the turn. Ah, interesting. So you can have the same ones, but choosing what, cool. So you can spell here or here. You can spell it both ways, but whichever card is on top gets destroyed, and then you also get the symbols on what's on top. Yeah. Defeat 6 enemies in a row to win a game. Oh, that sounds great. I mean, too expensive for me right now, but honestly, I should just get it for this. I could do this solo. If I was a solo gamer, I would wreck this. I would play this all the time, I feel. I'm not going to spend 150 bucks on something that a word game that nobody would play with me, but I think this does look great. What a great week so far. I was really underwhelmed by this week, but the GameFound has been hitting it out of the park with those three. Now I'm assuming it'll go down, but who knows? That finishes on the 17th at 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to go down now because I had to click on this just because of the title. Who's a Good Boy? The game where dogs can sin. I want to be a sinner. I want to also be a good boy, so it really works for me. A new card game for 3 to 5 players. Do sins and good deeds. Earn traits and race your friends to answer the question, who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? You know what? Whoever's watching this right now, I want to give a heartfelt statement that you are, in fact, a naughty bad boy or a wicked, wicked woman. Yes, I turned heel immediately. You don't get away that easily. The stage manager, I keep checking my phone and getting distracted because the stage manager of our show is watching some seasons of Survivor for the very first time. So they just watched Healers, Heroes, and Hustlers. Now they're watching Millennials versus Gen X. And I said, Kate, please live tweet me. And I'm saying it on this video so I can take a video of it when I'm editing it. And I'm going to send it to Kate to prove that I'm saying to everybody who I know, all of my beautiful friends, you all watching, that I love getting live tweets. I used to do that with, I did that with the mole for my friend Erica. And that was very lovely and fun. And I would keep a little episode breakdown so that like when somebody caught up to the episode, I'd be like, hey, these are my thoughts. Like, this is who I think the mole is. It was great. Great time. Who doesn't love a good watch party? All right. But you know what I want to find out? I want to find out who's a good boy, because it ain't me. Oh, Grandma. Sure. It's just going to be a very light bidding game that doesn't seem that interesting, although the score is cute. The scoring is cute because you're getting good and bad traits like creative, well-read, kind to the waitstaff, but also screams a lot, and self-obsessed, Eleganza, the floppy-eared dog. Check out the full rules. I imagine it's just going to tell me how the bidding works, and the bidding doesn't seem that interesting from the video, but this is why we check. So you have to play one card. You can play 2 cards, just using the cards from your hand. They're all going to be a bit random. Doesn't seem like there's much of a game here other than the one time, oh, I like Smooth Greg and the horrid one, and looking at the cute little dog cards. Definitely fun, but for 25 bucks and then plus shipping, doesn't really seem like anything intense gamers should ever pay attention to. That finishes Thursday, July 17th at 12 a.m. Moving along, we've got this one. Tournament of Towers, Stomp, Dino, and Safari Spaceship. Quick to learn, rich in strategy, and endlessly replayable. 3 beautiful tabletop games bundled into one epic campaign. This is the Iron Hippo games. Let's see what all these 3 have to offer. All right, that's not telling me anything. Let's meet the games. Tournament of Towers. Stack your way to victory. Card drafting and dexterity. 60 pieces. Wow. STEM-friendly strategy for players of all skill level. You pick a card, you plan your order, and then you have to stack things. Build your tower, stacking it in that particular order. So you just have to envision how you're going to stack something, and then you do it. Sure, so a little bit of drafting. That's not bad. Stomp, Dino. Work together to guide your Aquilops Dino brood away from the land of giant stomping feet and an angry volcano. Mold adorable clay dinos, roll and move to survive, and make tactical decisions using memory and teamwork. I mean, let's be real. You're only getting this game to make a dino and to then stomp on it with a big old foot. It doesn't really matter more than that. You're getting it for children who want to do that, and they will want to do that. So, fair play to you. Safari Spartacus, you heard me. You heard me. Race through the cosmos using beautifully illustrated animal cards as passengers and crew. Use memory, deduction, and clever sabotage to fuel your jump drive before your rivals beat you to a new world. Steal your opponents' matching cards. Okay, gather crew and passengers, counter, yeah. That's the one that I have to look into because it doesn't seem interesting or accessible. This seems fine, you know, if you like a dexterity game of building towers and stuff, the drafting is maybe a neat twist on it. Stomp Dino, I'm sure is mechanically very boring, but you get to, for 45 bucks, I don't know, $80 for a Tournament of Towers? No, you just can't. I mean, sure, there's no way that it hits this fun factor for me for the cost. For somebody who is cheap. How do I play Safari Spaceship? It's not going to tell me other than this video. All right, it's okay. It's 4 minutes. I can deal with 4 minutes. Oh, it's Go Fish. The fact that it was so overly complicated trying to pretend that it isn't Go Fish, and it's literally just Go Fish. It says, hey, do you have any manatees? You get the manatees. You need to get sets to then be able to travel. Then you lay down cards, and you draw back up to 8 cards. So you're building up It's the most complicated version of Go Fish I've ever seen, and not one that you'd want to spend $25 on. Sure, that seems awful. Stomp Dino, again, and Tournament Towers, fun, but just way too expensive for what they actually are. That finishes Thursday, July 17th at 11:58 a.m. Moving along to Faekin, except we're not, because it did the $1 pre-pledge. Unfortunately for Faekin, we don't give free marketing to people who like to prey upon sunk cost fallacy tactics. I've been talking to Blood Rage Valhalla people, Tabletop Tycoon, trying to get them to actually give me an answer on why they decided to do $1 pre-pledge and why they decided to use Launch Boom when I hate them so much, and I detail the reason why. They haven't given me a satisfactory answer yet, but they haven't given me an answer, so at least there's that. But no, we won't be covering it, and that's unfortunate, because unless there's a huge push for 5 reasons you shouldn't back, and then I'm still probably not going to share excitement about it or details about it, even though I was one of the very first playtesters of it, and I've been sitting on this for like 2.5 years. I'm devastated. Yeah, so screw you, Faekin. Sorry about this as well, too. Again, I think the guy who runs Board Game Revolution said that on my Launch Boom video that last he heard it was $3,000 for the Launch Boom course. So of this $14,000 pledged for this game, $3,000 have gone towards Launch Boom. For what? I don't know. At the very minimum, and sometimes up to 10,000. I think it's probably 3 to 5, depending upon what you take. This is a game that I'm interested in, though, because of course, why wouldn't you be? This is the Cozy Cat Cafe. This can't possibly meet my expectations, but it looks cozy, and it looks cat, and it looks cafe. So we're gonna check it out. This is a board game where you arrange your furniture, recruit cats, and attract customers, and get that bonus. Why? For points! That's why. A little bit of a polyomino style game. Yeah, cool. That was a very surprising turn in that video. The giant hand ripping a customer out from your cafe. And look at this. A very clear idea. This is one that I would assume would have Launch Boom's fingertips all over it, but it hasn't. A very cozy, cute, smart idea. It's raised £140,000, $260 Canadian. $260,000 Canadian. An organic insert. That's cool. Oof. That deluxe edition's pricey, but at least the core one is less. £40, 75 Canadian. Yeah, it's like 60 US, 55 US. Cute. Good how to play overview. We're going to look at the rulebook as well. It seems very simple. On your turn, you're going to take 1 action. And the key here is getting enough of these little cat trick cards to combo into more actions. Otherwise, you would only get to do one thing, right? You choose one of the following. Buy furniture, take 1 coin. Adopt a cat with a cookie. Take a cat cookie. Invite a customer. Additionally, you can play cat tricks at any point during your turn. So adopting a cat and drawing a cat trick card, it will give you additional things down the line, and then placing furniture next to cats will flip it over so that it has ambiance and allows you to get more points at the end. It seems insane that you would just take 1 coin as one of your actions. But I guess, how do you get more coins? Through customers? Probably. Yeah, there are 3 customers outside the street waiting to come in. Customers are very fussy. They have certain requirements. The number of points you will score, the number of the rewards you'll instantly get, so coins, the cat tile that is required to be in your cafe, the furniture tile the cat needs to be next to in order to invite this customer in, the orthogonal position the cat needs to be in for it to become ambient. Yeah. Seems fun. A little bit of random events that are happening. A solid theme to draw people in. Trying to chain different objectives together with your polyomino placement or just your tile placement. Seems fun. $75 shipping to Canada is $41 Canadian. Oh! Oh, this is not a 110 game. Oh my god. The deluxe just gives you wooden cats, cookies, metal coins, playmat. Not a bad deluxe uptick, but man, oh man, 41 Canadian, 23 US to get to the US. Jeez. Certainly not something I'm interested in. I think it's just going to be fine. I think this game is going to be like the definition of a 7 out of 10 game. I could see it just being a nice lightweight filler game, but for something like this, I also don't know why you wouldn't play Calico or Verdant or Cascadia or anything in that, or A Place for All My Books. That one looked really good too. A Place for All My Books definitely looked better than Cozy Cat Cafe. If I had to compare it to something that was on recent crowdfunding within the last, I don't know what it was, 6 months. Yeah, but yeah, definitely good. Definitely a fun theme. Love the art. Happy it's doing so well. That finishes Thursday, July 17th at 2 p.m. Moving along to this one. Whoa! $1 million Canadian. This is the Even Deeper Regrets. An unfortunate fishing game expansion. Sail out back to sea or head inland for even more disturbing fishes, deeper madness, and a wealth of new regrettable decisions. Here's the thing. Way back when Deep Regrets came out, it raised 637, that's a lot, 1.1 million Canadian dollars. Did it really? How come I didn't cover this in the finals? Like, I would have included it in my, like, recap of breaking $1 million. Wow, that was back in 2024. Anyway, they decided to do the $1 pre-pledge, and they had a bunch of pushback against it, and they said, we will never do the $1 pre-pledge ever again. And now here they are with a $1 million campaign as well, a $1 million Canadian campaign with 6 days to go, filled with repeat backers and people jumping on board based around good reviews, it being a solid game. It shows you that it doesn't matter. This $1 magic button, it doesn't matter anymore. It was a one-time thing, a flash in the pan. It's doing exactly the same. It didn't need to do it. If your game sucks, it's not going to do well. Or especially the expansion is not going to do well. You're not seeing Botany pulling these numbers. Try to give a Botany expansion. Let's see what happens with that. No, absolutely not. Well, let's check this out. Now we can finally look into it. I saw the Button Shy one, but that's it. You're trying to get as many delicious little fishes as you possibly can. Well, I appreciate this short film. Do you want to tell me about the game literally at any point in time? That would be nice. A massive expansion, $33 US, giving you just more of all the different fish that you can pull out of the ocean, the radioactive fish that you're trying to eat. How do you play? You choose a location. At the start of the day, each player just declares whether they will spend the day fishing at sea or inland, or if they're going to return to the port to resupply. You can inspect the shadows of the sea, consult the angler's guide to decide where to fish. You reveal the top fish and it will have an ability, and then you spend any number of dice equal to the value of the fish's difficulty. This costs a 3, so you move to 3 over. Then you trigger the ability, so you're just fishing, etc. Or if you can't catch the fish, you spend a dice and you draw a dink card instead. Because you say you're hoping to draw something that was 4 value or less, and you drew something that was a 5 value, then you could at least get something in return. Or you can move your boat into deeper water. Strangely, I guess it's a submarine, even though it's wooden. Interesting, the crazier you are, the less your fish is worth. That's funny. You can buy equipment to help you when you're out there. Seeing horrid things weighs upon the mind. Draw regrets cards every time you catch, eat, or sell something disturbing. The player with the most regrets at the end of the game suffers unbearable consequences. So it's really, really, in its essence, it's a push your luck game, right? Because you're going out, you're fishing, you're drawing a card, you're seeing what happens. And you're choosing if you're going to be purchasing that fish or not. But basically, you're going to draw a card, you're saying, am I spending money on this fish? Or am I drawing like a dink card? You know, do I want to invest in this? Is this worth enough points for me? It feels like the game is going to play itself, in a sense. But then you can modify things with different equipment, going back to port, choosing when to spend your dice, going further into the deep water. Let's just look at the base rules in case I'm missing anything. And so the key to the equipment is going to be like, hey, I'm going to look in the deep, I'm going to see what's in there. I'm going to have some options to take some fish. I love the art. I'm absolutely drawn in by the art. I think it looks really cool. And I do like the price as well. I think £25, so 47 for the expansion. Interesting. I mean, they say that this expansion has so much more content than the base game, but then the base game is £40. Seems like a lot. Yeah, £40. So do you really want to spend $121 on this? I would spend 47, but this requires the base game to play it. I thought the Shallow Regrets did look fun for the Button Shy. I remember looking at that. Canada, £12 shipping, 10 for US. Yeah, all costs associated with tariffs will be passed on to US backers at cost. Smart way of doing it. Yeah, I'm excited that this is doing so well. I can't quite understand what people are drawn to in this one. I guess the art is fun, the push your luck nature. It's just a fun time, right, of eating radioactive fish. Who doesn't love a night of eating radioactive fish with their friends? That's fair. Whenever I invite friends over to my house, I say, hey, how much radioactive fish do you want to be eating right now? But I just think it's interesting that, again, this is, a smaller cost for the even deeper regrets, which 8,000 people are getting, and to raise almost the same amount of money. Just shows that, do you need a $1 pre-pledge? Don't think you do. If people like your game, they're going to like your game. That finishes Thursday, July 17th at 5 p.m. Moving along to Statecraft. Statecraft offers a highly interactive experience, simulating key moments from recent history within a political board game format. With 4 rounds and a final bonus points round, players vie for power, with the highest score determining the ultimate winner. That's like... That's such a nothing, such a nothing description. It's a political board game format. You get it. There's 4 rounds and a final bonus points round. Highest score wins. Okay, so it's a game? Cool. Nothing quick up here. Quick rules are 10 minutes. I bet I can learn it quicker than that. We're going to look at Statecraft first, and it seems like you can add something in on this as well. So we'll see. This is funded, so at least there's that. I thought it wasn't. If it wasn't, I was going to skip it. Okay, there's 4 rounds. You have the following phases: agenda and resolution, governance, grid and markets resolution, declaration, maintenance. Sure. You place tokens on debate, influence, bribe, and spay. Sure. I think that means spy. Maybe not. Maybe there is part of the agenda I heard was to spay and neuter the entire population. Have you heard about the agenda? The agenda has been working on me for months now. But I won't be turned. I would love to be, but I just can't be. Okay, so debate, you throw stuff in a bag. Influence, you place your tokens on countries. Bribe, you can take out someone's spot, turn them into basically a neutral position, or replace a neutral one with one of your own, okay? And then spy can be activated in the event of being involved in a conflict. So governance, you're gonna pull tokens from the bag. This is why you want to put stuff in for the debate, so that you can have a more likely chance of putting things in. I see. And then basically whoever controls whatever cards, you get points based around the symbols that are shown at the bottom. There's some slight variability, I guess, that you can make one of them worth 2. Declaration. I do declare. See? There we go. We got it back. We got it back. Somebody yelled at me for saying I do declare in a video recently, not in a southern accent, and thus, well, I'm Naughty Nelly. Everybody could go on a date with me. Sure, it seems pretty simple. Dealing with these 4 actions of drawing things or area control, fighting for dominance in certain spots, seems completely uninteresting to me. Even throwing in a Japan expansion or an Arab Spring expansion, my 2 favorite expansions. I guess the hidden active action programming could be interesting. I don't really think so. It seems very boring to me. So let's see if pole position, a racing game, is going to titillate me beyond measure with their 4 double-sided boards. That's pretty cool. Sorry, 4 double-sized boards. So 8 circuits. I assume it's double-sided. In pole position, you'll experiment with all the aspects of a real car race, like pit stops, overtakings, collisions, yellow flags, DRS, etc. You should know which strategy to use depending upon many factors, like the state of your car, the weather conditions, the number of laps remaining, the traffic on the track, the state of your tires, and of course, your rivals' strategy. Look for my strategy. Do you see my strategy? And they don't even bother giving you a breakdown on the campaign page of what this game is. But we're going to look through and see. I mean, we all know what the answer is going to be, right? I'm not going to care. Okay, so you have to have the qualifying. Basically, you create start positions. You have the start of the race, then you have rounds, and you end the race. But it's like the qualifying will be essential to running the race. If you don't start in front, maybe you'll never win. It's like, well, why am I interested in playing a game like this? It can be essential to win the race. You better do it. Well, okay. But how do I do it? You roll a dice, and the highest number gets to start first. Now you can choose to sacrifice points to roll 2 more dice to take the better number after you've seen everybody's numbers. There might be some interesting things there, especially in a minigame sense, but it just... I don't know. I don't see how that beginning doesn't feel bad in any capacity. Oh, you rolled an 8? Great. So I have to lower my stats just to... Or I rolled a 4, you rolled a 5. So I have to lower my stats just to go ahead of you because of this random number? I don't know. Great. And then you roll a dice and you see if you move. And then if you're behind someone, you can roll a dice to see if you overtake. Seems like a worse Formula D. Actually, no. It seems like Formula D. Completely awful. For a big box of this, you're going to bet 100... Ugh. Go burn. Like, this is awful. Who would spend $110 on this? 5 people? You're nuts. That's just, this is just horrible. It looks like 0 fun. You're rolling dice. You can do that without spending $110. I don't know if you know that. Both of these look bad. I think objectively both look pretty bad. Statecraft looks fine. Pole, whatever, looks quite bad. And I am annoyed that I had to spend time looking at it. But if you're interested, well, I don't know. May God have mercy on your soul, I suppose. That finishes July 18th at 11 a.m. Moving along to this one, we have Baron John's 2025 card game collection. 4 new trick-taking and shedding games for you to enjoy. All right, Baron John, let's see. What do we got here? They're back with 4 new awesome card games for you from Baron John. Not in this order, though. All right. We've got 3 Tricky Pigs. 3 to 5 player trick-taking game, secret bidding, variable trick win conditions. 3 Tricky Pigs. It's 3 little pigs with a trick-taking twist. 4 unique suits with asymmetrical numbers, as well as huff and puff cards, which can affect the numbers on what you play. Bid how many tricks you think you'll win this round. Always love a game that does that. But the winner isn't always the highest card in the trick. The laziest card wins. If there's no wolf, suited cards in the trick, the laziest card wins. Sticks and straw have the lowest numbers since they're the laziest, while brick is the highest numbers. But once a wolf card shows up in a trick, the highest card will win the trick. You can add a huff and a puff card to the cards you play to make it even larger than it was before. If you're feeling lazy, you can also bid 0, which is plenty lucrative if you can achieve it. Yeah, of course. It's the best thing to do in a bidding game when you're bidding the tricks that you're going to win. Always pick 0. Try to lose everything. Your bid will be secret until the end of the hand, so choose carefully. Oh, cool. Ooh, I really like that. I really like that they're secret bids. You don't see that often. They're out in the open, but if everybody bids secretly just based around their hand, I don't know why you would ever bid for work. A go for eat or go for sleep. That's it. Nice. I like that. Okay, cool. Henhouse. 2 to 5 player climbing, shedding game. Oh no, those are white on the cards. I thought they were hollow cards. Unique meld making system. All the cards in your hand will be one of 4 suits: brown eggs, brown chickens, white chickens. Chickens can also be melded with other chickens, or eggs can be melded with other eggs. Also, brown can be melded with brown. Sure. You'll also have 2 double-sided wild cards in your hand to begin the game, which help you fill holes in your melds. Using those constraints, make some sheddings as you ladder climb a la Scout, I assume. That's what I do. Oh, rules to Henhouse, yeah. Yeah, play a higher ranked combination, play a Henhouse, use a critic card, and play a new combination or pass. To be a higher ranking, has to be of the exact same type, have the exact same number of cards. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Okay. Makes sense. Both are good. Mystery Tricks by John Barron. I think you mean Baron John. We got a co-op trick-taking game, man. Are you craving a mystery you can solve with your friends through trick-taking gameplay? That's Scooby-Doo, in case you didn't know. But I'm sure you knew, because my impressions are pretty huge. This game has you sort a set of cards numerically and pass it to your neighbor. When you get your sorted hand, you can't look at it, but instead keep it face down on the table and have to use deduction to figure out which cards are in your hand. Fun. The cards are marked at the back what suit they are. You'll sort them numerically. Oh, cool. So you sort them from like 1 to 12 or whatever, and then you have to look around what's going on. That's fun. You'll play normal trick style gameplay until there are 4 unplayed cards in people's hands. If those 4 cards are each of a different suit, you might be able to win the game. As a final test, you have to correctly name which card is in your hand before revealing it to the group. If everyone names their cards correctly, you win. Well, you kind of would know because it's been passed, or there's extra cards in somewhere. Oh, you can divide up who has to win what tricks. Sure. Yeah, that seems neat enough. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. I think it seems like it could be interesting if you like deduction games, cooperative deduction games. I could give it a try. They're all $25 though. I don't like that. I would love if these were in the $15 range, you know? Because then to spend $35 Canadian and then to spend shipping on this, it's $50 for a game where I have a lot of trick-taking games, you know? I could just play Wizard, and that's perfectly fine. You could play The Crew, right? But let's see what the last one is. Solar Eclipse by Mathieu Labrac. La Brava! No, not different one. In Solar Eclipse, players play 2 cards into every trip. By the light of the sun, both of their cards are shown, but under the moonlight, intentions are unknown. In order to achieve victory, players must skillfully deceive their rivals and successfully predict how many tricks they will win each round. If you manage to play a sun and a moon card of matching values, that becomes trump. Alright, that's one where I do need to look at the rules a bit to see when you play your 2. Okay, so that makes sense. If you played a sun card first, you're going to play each person's going to play 1 card, then you're going to play a second card to add to it. If it was a sun card that was led, sun suit that was led, then everybody plays face up. If it was a moon card, then you can play cards face down. The second card a player chooses to play into a trick must follow the suit of the led player's first card if possible. However, a player may optionally choose to play a card with a rank that matches their first card played. The player with the highest number of cards, highest number wins, but you can potentially match up your cards and make it trump. So I think that's where the game is going to be. I've played a 4, but I'm playing 4 Moonlight because I know I'm going to trump it. I think in backwards order is my interest. So Solar Eclipse, least interested. Mystery Tricks, somewhat interested, Genhouse somewhat interested, and then 3 Tricky Pigs I think are the best. And again, that's why that one has 45 backers and everything else has a very minimal amount. Everybody finding the same as me. You can get all 4 games if you wanted to for $108 Canadian, 79, and then shipping for all 4 would be $40. Man, 25 to Canada, $142 to get to Canada. So on average, $35 a game. Not really interested in it for that amount. I think 3 Tricky Pigs does seem interesting. The other ones could take them or leave them. If you're interested, though, that finishes Friday, July 18th at 7:53 p.m. Moving forward, just quickly on this one, I wanted to touch on it in case people wanted to add thoughts down below in the comments. More specifically for that, We Played God, a survival miniatures game. It's a solo co-op tabletop miniatures skirmish game set in a near future where dinosaurs have been genetically reconstructed. Because it's a miniatures game, because it's a skirmish game, I think it's going to fall outside of my own personal area of interest. You're just going to be buying this manual and then moving your dinosaurs up and around. Sneak, hide, fight, run your way through an intense narrative campaign where you must survive against all odds. I don't know. Could be something here. Games are typically 20 to 40 minutes with easy to learn rules and fast mechanics. Miniature agnostic. That's nice. So you can just get the rules and then play with whatever minis you have on hand. Uses a standard polyhedral dice set to resolve tests, as well as a simple D6 hazard dice. The lower the total value of the dice, the better a survivor or dinosaur is at that action. Core rulebook gets information for all the different dinosaurs in terms of how to play them. You can get a ton of dinosaurs as well, but if you just want the rules, it's going to be $60 for this skirmish game. I don't know, has anybody pledged for that? Yeah, 254 people have pledged for it, so clearly there's a market for it to do your own dinosaur game, all the work that went into creating it. That finishes on the 18th at 8 p.m. This one's just for your knowledge, right? I don't think they're going to even share the rulebook, let's be real. They would have a gameplay video, but they probably won't share the rulebook since they're trying to get you to pay for it for $60. I wish that there was just a PDF version, but there isn't, so no real looking into it on my part. That's the 18th at 8 p.m. Okie dokie. We're going to keep on moving to Clash of Clans, the epic raid. Experience the mega hit Clash of Clans in a whole new way on the tabletop. Clash of Clans is something that I've never played, but I know it's a big old mobile game that some people like. Let's see if it is interesting as Kingdom Rush Elemental Horde, which I still have on my shelf of shame. Eric Lang? Okay. I mean, you pulled me in with Eric Lang. This creator has an insane resume of what they've produced. Oh, cool. Ken Gruhl also did Life in Reterra with Eric Lang, so that's fun. And also did Happy Salmon. Assign your builders. Here's how you play. Your builders are the heart of your village. You send them to locations on the main board to build structures, recruit troops, and start raids. But watch out, other clans are scrambling for the same spaces. So worker placement. Just make sure you've got the coins, elixir, and gems to cover the costs. So worker placement. Design your village. This does seem fun to me. By placing buildings, landmarks, and defenses to maximize resources and boost your score. Just remember, rival clans are always ready to raid, and your defenses will be put to the test. Assemble your army. Start small with just a barbarian and an archer, but as your forces grow, so does your power. Raid enemy bases. Raiding is the lifeblood of the clans. This is what it's all about. Send your armies to your rival bases, roll the dice, watch as you burn it all down, destroying enemy structures, earning your points and resources, and might even trigger bonuses from your own buildings. The combat engine building game you never knew you needed. That's what Eric Lang says. Do I back this project? Too deluxe to ignore. Ugh, I hate that. The core edition doesn't come with the Kickstarter pack, which are the stretch goals. I also hate when games do that. It's the whole point of having something on Kickstarter is to pass along the stretch goals and the savings to your fans and the people who are supporting you, the early adopters, the people giving you, a free loan. But now, you'll just have to pay an extra $10 if you want it. Nothing. Nothing. FOMO. Nothing. Spend money. Shiny. Pretty. Shiny. Nothing. More shiny. Oh, another expansion, optional buy. Don't forget, you want to buy that. You want to get that. Get the collector's edition. Shiny rulebook. Thank you. Only 7 pages. Pretty simple. Cool. You'll have defensive towers for when people raid you that you can get and build up. Have to decide if you spend time upgrading your own stuff or building your defenses. Seems like a fun balance. I like that everybody's going to get raided and you can choose the time to pick somebody to raid. I like that defenders go first as well. And you have to withstand the defense in order to roll dice to attack and destroy burning down buildings and whatever. During the score phase, all players gain stars based on the buildings in their village that are not burned. Only town halls that are not on fire award stars. If somebody has 40 points, they win. Just teching things up. What's nice is that whatever you build just gets set on fire as like a marking mechanism, but then the fire gets removed, but it doesn't seem like you tear down certain things. So it's not that much of a take that. Everybody's going to get attacked. It's all about ramping up your own engine and attacking the weakest player who didn't spend the time to build up like you did. It's still $95 or $85, looking at 130 Canadian and then plus shipping. Way too expensive for what it is. I think it's fine. $20 or $24 shipping to Canada. Again, if I wanted to get this, it would be $150 for a fairly simple and basic engine building thing. I wonder what's the community like? How many new backers? New backers, 497 new backers have never backed a project on Kickstarter before, just being pulled in by the Clash of Clans IP, maybe. And then 1487 are people who have experience in Kickstarter. That's a pretty huge number, thinking about how long Kickstarter's been around. If you're interested, that finishes Saturday, July 19th at 12:59 a.m. I'm interested because of Eric Lang, but not even he could get me to spend that much money. I just clicked on this because I have so many poker clips recommended to me in my YouTube because I look at poker all the time as a bar for WSBG and whatever sort of coverage and content I'm going to try to build and do for the live streaming of that one. And Phil Helmuth sucks. And the fact that Phil Helmuth is trying to put his name on this sort of like collectible card game and it's not even getting halfway there makes me laugh a lot. So I just think it's so funny that he thinks anybody cares about his name. Okay, that's it. That's all I want to say about this one. This one we have Plakks Basketball. I believe I have a affiliate link for this one. Not that I care. Often Kickstarters will send me a message and be like, hey, can you give us coverage? We've got an affiliate link for you. And I'll always say, sure, give me the link. Because, well, I was planning on doing it anyway. So I'm happy to just drop their link down below. And I'm going to not care if I get the 10 cents of affiliate marketing that a one purchase might net me. I don't know. I didn't even look into it. I'd say, sure. And they're like, wow, thank you so much. And I'm like, well, if you knew anything about my channel, you'd know that I covered everything, including things like Who's a Good Boy. But let's look at this. It looks like it's a dexterity, maybe a dexterity game, or maybe not. I don't know. This could be fun. Who doesn't love bouncing little balls into a hole, you know? Oh, I remember the Plakks football one did look fun. I think this is just bounce off. I think this is just bounce off. I think this is copyright infringement from bounce off, everyone. You're bouncing a ball. You gotta bounce it off of maybe your player or maybe not. They're just players lying on the ground. Or maybe those are just your lives. Seems like it might be your lives. It's just bouncing a ball into a basketball net. You gotta bounce it off your own half. Oh, they changed how the ball bounces. So it's and it makes it harder for them to bounce. So it's a runaway. Why not place it on your own? Place it on your own so it increases the difficulty for you because you're in the lead. It's just like, it's the most basic of game concepts. There's one rule here and you did it the opposite way. Why would I do that? I scored a basket. Great. I'm going to make it harder for you to catch up. Plakks. If the ball bounces onto your side, you can catch it and go shoot it again with no rebounds. So you just do a three-pointer. I mean, sure. 22 euro. Okay. Limited to just 300 backers. Uh-oh. This is only limited to 300 backers. You better get it now because 1,000 backers have gotten it. Do we think it's really limited to 300 backers? It doesn't seem like it. Seems like somebody forgot to update their FOMO marketing tactic. Oh, wait, it's limited to only 1050 backers? I certainly hope that number doesn't increase. Screw you, these other 27 people. Do they find a couple in the warehouse that hasn't been made yet? Get stuff. But even still, you know what? 22 euro, 36 Canadian for a bouncy ball and a couple of nets. You know how else you can do this? You can get one of those things probably off of like Amazon or Temu or something like that. Oh, I said the dreaded T word. Don't worry, Temu Terry didn't come with me to Halifax. I just think it's so funny that, oh, you do get 4 balls. Well, there you go. I think it's so funny. The one rule they could establish, they decided to get wrong. I mean, that doesn't stop you from playing it the correct way, but even still, that's Plakks. Shipping is €15 to the US, 11 to get to Canada. So I wanted this little bouncy ball game. It cost me about $50. Is it worth $50? I don't think so. But if it excites you beyond all measure, we'll check it out. It finishes Sunday, July 20th at 11:28 a.m. Next up is Witch's Quarrel, except no, we're not covering this again because it did the $1 pre-pledge, and we don't give free marketing to things that do that or work with Launch Boom or go with that scummy marketing idea. Sorry, Witch's Quarrel, you could have been great, but instead you decided to spend all of your profit and give it to the enemy. Only a couple more. We have 2 more games to cover, both of which look whatever. Well, we have Rails and Cargo, build rails, run factories, and deliver goods across cities in a fast-paced solo print-and-play game of industrial strategy. For you in the comments who was asking me, do I cover solo print-and-play games? Well, feast your eye popsicles on this game. Solo roll-and-write game where it's just you, hence the solo, a pencil, hence the roll-and-write, and a map of full untapped potential, hence the game. Your task may sound simple. Restore broken rail lines between cities, build factories, produce goods, and deliver them where they're needed most. Your task might sound incredibly simple. Developed an entire monorail economic landscape. That sounds simple, right? Of course, easy. This is a think and write experience. Dice will only be rolled during setup. Oh, you've done think and writes before, haven't you, Lizard King? Yeah, Craftsman is a think and write experience. You set it up in a different way, and then you think about it. You have a limited number of turns to plan, optimize, execute your strategy. So just think about it until you can think no more. During setup, you roll the dice to determine your starting contracts, starting factories, and order of future factory placements. The action wheel is the heart of the game. You place a die showing the number 2 on any red space. This marks your first action. Each round, you'll move the die clockwise up to 3 spaces. In each space you land on determines your action for the round. Why does it have a 2 on it? Shouldn't it have a 3 on it? Why does it have a 2 on it? I guess because things maybe go up and down. Let's hope. So, and whenever you cross these lines, something else happens. Why is it a 2? Okay, here are the actions that you can do. You can build tracks and pay money for it. You can produce goods equal to your production power. So your production power must be the dice, right? Because that's why it's set up 2. You can deliver goods through the map. Oh no, you're probably upgrading things. Travel, number of cities you can travel through depends on your delivery power. Upgrade, you can upgrade your buildings, yeah. You gain additional coins equal to the value of the dice used to take that action. After performing this action, set the die value to 1. So when you move it, you must uptick the dice, right? Just like, oh, this is why people structure rulebooks in a certain way. I have a question. Don't tell me that it's specifically on the number 2 if you're not going to tell me what that number means. But sure, the action efficiency rondelle idea doesn't seem too bad, and then maybe you will find out what that dice means because I must have missed it. Sure, it seems fine. It's €3 if you want it, or if you want all the expansions, it's €8. So if you like print and play games, little writing things, I still need to try Steve Finn's games. He sent me his solo book, and I just haven't plugged my way through it. But when I do, I'll talk about it on this channel in one of these episodes. That finishes Sunday, July 20th at 6:59 p.m. Oh, we're not covering this. I didn't realize. Essentially what happens when I sort through games on Kickstarters, I click on everything, right? I really click on everything. Oh, it just got another backer though. It just got another backer, and I got $297 with that other backer. Probably worth it. I go through the list of everything that's leaving, and I click on anything that I think might be interesting to talk about. And then I go through and I do another pass and I filter through. Clearly I didn't do my filter through pass on this one because I've been filtering things as we go along, because this game exists. Build up your ships while sink your opponent's ships, where you can get a $50 value game. No, it's not, for $25. I do love it. They're like, you can get this for $25. It's a $4,082 value. So that's what I'd be selling it for in stores. But you can get it for $25. Convinced? We're not covering this. Players play ships, increase or decrease ship cannons and strength, fight battles and steal gold. It's just a take that card game for sure. No. Not doing it. So that's it. That's it for the week. Every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you. The pick for me being the thing I think is most interesting, and the pick for you being the thing that I think if you got, you would regret the least. Before we do that, let's do a little crowdfunding grunt down to remind us of what came before. Vacation, all I ever... Ugh. Yeah. Meh. Yeah. Yeah. Bad boy. Yeah. Meh. Blech. Absolutely not. Meh. Or should I say, meow. Meh. Bad. Worse. In order. Meh. Yeah. You let me know. Meh. Just get bounce off. Absolutely not. Honestly, sure. We started out strong this week, and we ended, as we normally do, with a whimper. But I do have a pick for me, and I do have a pick for you. I'm just deciding on which is which. I think the pick for me is going to be Mesopotamia. I like the aspect of leveling up your own actions. I think that seems fun. I really like the bidding mechanism because it reminds me of Rising Sun and how that can manipulate your fights, how much of an impact the fighting is going to play on the board. I don't know, but there is 4X elements to it. I like the events. There's a lot going on here that I like other than the price, and therefore I'm definitely not interested in picking this up for me. I don't have any desire. There's no hovering around the back button for me. And I think I would have to $3 million in my bank account if I wanted to purchase this right now. That's what I would need for me personally to show you my interest. I think the pick for you, it's tough because I think it's way too expensive. I think it's way too expensive and you should just get unmatched. So I think the pick for you is unmatched. No, you know what? I'm going to go, that's tough. Yeah, no, I'm going with this. Paperback Adventures. Sorry, Regulus, you were close. But Paperback Adventures gets the nod because I think it's cool that they're adding a co-op version. I've heard the Paperback is great. Ruel really likes it. And yeah, I find it charming. It's already got a great reviews behind it, and I think it looks really fun. I love word games. I really do. I love words, and that idea of splaying it one way or the other seems neat. So yeah, I'm gonna make Paperback Adventures the pick for you. I think if you like solo games, you like word games, and you haven't played this one, well, you don't have to get it at crowdfunding, right? Crowdfunding's not really a good deal anymore, and you could just get one copy of Paperback Adventures and see if you like it, instead of spending $150 on something that you've never tried before. But hey, how would you get that sweet little dopamine hit? I don't know. You probably wouldn't. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chris George. I don't have a catchphrase. I don't know. I've got excitement. We're nearing episode 200. We've covered over 3,000 campaigns. Isn't that nuts? I don't know the exact number of board games, but I think it probably works out at 3,000 because like this, you get 3 games or 4 games covered in a section. I only count that as one. But then I also will cover things like game tables and whatever and just taking a look at them. So I appreciate you all hanging out with me. I really do. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate every time you drop comments down below as well, because we all have opinions on these sorts of things. And I love hearing your own experiences. We make such a great community of board gamers, and it's just lovely to have a place to hang out with cool people and talk about the upcoming stuff and just hang out, even if we're not getting anything this week. You know what I mean? Even if there aren't any good games, we're just seeing what's happening, hanging out with friends, and I think that's quite lovely. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one. And I want to give you a little smooch.